it may be a unique perspective on something you already know about. Well, hey there. Welcome back. It's 2025 and we're a few days into it. How are those resolutions working out? Oh, you don't want to talk about it. That's fine. We don't have to. No, really, we don't have to. Just a reminder that there's a recent episode about not making resolutions and the ones that work and why they work and the difference between a resolution and really a system that'll get things done for you. So that was just a little gentle reminder. Maybe you should listen to that if you have made resolutions. But since it is the beginning of the year, it means it's time to do the most useful and helpful episodes of the previous year, this being 2024. 2024 was an interesting year. It had 33 episodes and a number of them as part of a particular 13-part series. In addition, I did no interviews, or rather, I didn't publish any recorded interviews last year. As with many aspects of this show, it doesn't follow a rigid, forced schedule. It follows what needs to be done. It was very difficult to choose the top episodes. We don't choose the top 10 or the top 5. We choose the top episodes. And the hard part about that is not finding ones that we think are really, really great or impactful or useful or life-changing and all that stuff, quite seriously, but it's leaving out the others. Each episode is made to bring to light something that you might not be aware of, and becoming aware of it may be extremely enlightening. You may think, this was just under my nose and I didn't know about it. Or it may be a unique perspective on something you already know about, like labels, for example. Having said that, let's jump into this. And I hope you enjoy the episodes. I hope you enjoy all of the episodes. But if you want a fun guide for last year, here it is. And these are in no particular order. The first one is live your life iteratively. And it's a difficult word to say, but I love that word. It's about the fact that you build something and then you build upon that, you build upon that, you build upon that, and you keep making layers on top of something to make something just amazing. It's the way most skills work. You have to master the basics before you go to the advanced levels. It's the way that video production works. It's the way that storytelling works. It's the way that so many things work, including your personality, who you are as a person, your career, your accomplishments, all that stuff. It's all iterative, and it's a really cool concept that, again, once you open your eyes to, you will be amazed that it's everywhere and how important it is, and understanding it can help you to stay on track to keep going. The next is a strength stretched too far becomes a weakness. This is one of the most important phrases that I've ever encountered in my life. It's one of those, wait, life is backwards kind of moments when you learn this. It sort of relates to how you can plan something and put up defenses against a certain thing, and then it comes from the opposite direction. You go, wait, no, I'm being a good person. I'm trying to do this. Oh, you're trying too hard. Wait, what? The next is actually funny to me because one of the subscribers to the newsletter actually decided not to subscribe anymore and said the reason was this spam. And I have never, ever spammed in my newsletter. In fact, I've never signed someone up without their knowledge, as I've been signed up many times by people and groups and businesses in my life without my knowledge, without my permission. By the way, as a side note, is a very annoying thing to me. You meet a person, you shake their hands, and suddenly you're in their newsletter. Excuse me? I mean, I don't even know you, and now you're just bombarding me. Am I just a commodity? And I actually did an episode about that, which I didn't put on this list. But the title of this episode was, How Much Real Estate Do You Own in the Fourth Dimension? And the reason the person reported it after skimming it was I used the meme of the gentleman who said, it's free real estate. And so this person thought, oh, it's a real estate thing. No, it's a meme. This one is interesting because it kind of looks at, the 3 dimensions of physicality and then the 4th dimension of time. But owning something in time is a strange thing, but you actually do. And that's kind of what we call a schedule. So it's a really cool way to look at that. We've done more than one episode on what a label is. It's a shortcut of your brain. And there was an episode called Labels. They can make you dumber and smarter. And it might have been the other way around. Doesn't matter. But this one is called Too Much Power to Something Via Label. And it's about how just slapping a label on something suddenly gives it all this power over you. And it's true, that's how it works in life. Can be very helpful in both your private and your business life. And speaking of your business life, the next episode is something it's sort of an application of something that's typically used in personal relationships, but I'm applying it to business because I've actually personally encountered it in business. And it's called Forced to be an Emergency Responder and Love Bombing. And love bombing is typically something that happens in a relationship, personal, but we don't think about it in business, but it happens all the time in interviews. It happens all the time with clients and so forth. So if you are someone who is in business for yourself, I implore you to listen to the Forced to be an Emergency Responder and Love Bombing episode. It can save you a lot of stress and a lot of sleepless nights, and it sure did for me. Speaking of relieving stress, we'll take a 180 here. The next one is called Engagement Fiction for Your Type A Brain. And it was something that I saw sort of backwards. And where this came from is me writing my epic trilogy that sort of came out of nowhere after writing 4 self-help personal productivity books. And the intensity of the trilogy, the planning, the multiple layers, the mapping out of time and space, was just something that I thought was important for the story. It's the way I needed to tell the story, but it became something else that I didn't even realize was a thing. And it's called engagement fiction. And engagement fiction is something that you read and you get sucked into it. And it is serious, serious stuff. I mean, an example of that is so many people, especially women, like, the true crime stuff. It's not a fluffy story. It's got fact after fact after fact, and it makes your brain kind of race and keep track of things. And especially people who are type A, people who need to be engaged, people who get bored, that's the kind of fiction that they need. So, it's a shameless plug for my trilogy, but I would strongly suggest that you take a look at that and listen to this episode and see if maybe that's what you're missing with your fun. So many people try to find fun and relax, and they're like, I don't want to sit on a beach. I don't want to stare at this. I don't want to do this. I have an imaginative, active mind, and I still want to keep that engaged fairly often. So I'm not taking anything away from beaches and things like that. I myself love a long bike ride, and with very little thought. Well, at least I try. But it's just nice to look at grass and pretty things in a lake. But there are many times when you really want that engagement, but you don't want the engagement to be leveraged upon you because that's how you make a living. You just want engagement because you chose it, and that is powerful. And this one is useful. It's very simple and useful. It's not some, world-changing philosophical thing, but it is called Feeling Safe and Relaxed, Parasympathetic Nervous System. And again, a very fun word to say. And it essentially talks about the 2 nervous system systems that we have in place. And I love me some systems, as you know. Anytime I learn about a system that's already in place, whether it's naturally or not, I want to learn about it. And we have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. And the sympathetic is the one that makes us fight or flight. This is the opposite. It's the one that makes you relaxed and makes you feel good. And we want to feel good. But it includes a dumb trick. I wouldn't call it a dumb trick, but it's a super simple thing that you can do that kind of goes against wisdom we've been given to by our parents. And it really makes a huge difference on your health and also your well-being. It's amazing. And this next one is actually a bunch, and I'm cheating here, but I'm saying the entire series that we've done so far of the Charms episodes. And the Charms episodes have to do with the states of being that I defined. And so this includes so far this year or last year, anxiety, ADHD, OCD, depression and suicide, and systems thinking. We covered all of those, including the charms. So take a listen to those and get yourself a charm. If there's an episode that I didn't mention, feel free to yell at me. Feel free to say, Mark, I can't believe you didn't mention this one. This was so impactful. It made such a difference on me. And this is really a trick and a trap. I'm just trying to trick you into telling me how an episode affected you, because I don't get as much feedback as I really would like. people do a lot of noodling and thinking about this stuff. They go, oh, that was cool. Interesting. I wonder if there's another one. But they're really not in the frame of mind to say, I think I'll write a long letter to Mark to tell him how cool this episode was. So if there's an episode I missed, by all means, tell me. If you feel one of these, if maybe you've listened to it again because you saw it on this list and you're like, oh, I didn't get that the first time. Let me know that too. I'm always open to your input and your ideas as well. It's a lot of fun to put this list together because it makes me review my work for the 18th time. I say it that way because I listen to my podcast episodes at least 3 times because there's the editing process, and then I actually listen to it from the podcast episode software as if I'm a subscriber and so forth, because I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything, and I want to make sure it's the best experience for you. And speaking of the best experience, that's also why I try to keep these to 10 minutes, because I know you can go ahead and pause it at any time and replay it. And I don't want to talk incessantly for an hour to you. I was recently told that my podcast is the only one that a person listens to that they don't put it on double speed. I'd like to think I talk pretty fast. So again, enjoy the episodes from 2024 and previous, and I look forward to making many episodes for you this year in 2025. I look forward to completing the 13-part series on the charms, the Psych Charms. I look forward to helping you in whatever ways I can. Take care of yourself.
Living life every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.
Do you have a story to share or a question? If your idea makes it to a podcast, you'll receive a shout out as well as a token of my appreciation. Join the community, patreon.com/alchemy for life.
All I need are some better days.